This is Deep Dive. I'm Fei Fei. For the first time ever, we're seeing a dance competition integrating into a sporting event. There's so much we could ask about this dance/sports game, so we decided it's worth an additional update for a weekly podcast. At the ongoing Asian Games in Hangzhou, breakdancing or breaking has secured its own stage as part of this sporting showpiece. 2 gold medals will be awarded from these competitions that are taking place next week. The dance has also earned its place on the Olympic program. The dance floors will make their way to Paris next year for the 2024 Summer Olympic Games. Out of all the street dances, why has breaking become a competitive sport? What makes it a legit sport? And why are organizers of international sports events so keen on including a street dance into their multi-billion-dollar event? I spoke with my colleague Guo Yan, who is also a dancer herself, for more on the charms of breaking. This episode is brought to you on Tuesday, September the 26th. Hello, Guo Yan. So tell us more about this break dancing. Is it some sort of a street dance?
Breakdancing is a type of street dance emerging from hip-hop culture. It's characterized by acrobatic movements, stylized footwork, and music randomly played by the DJ. The dance sport blends urban dance with remarkable athleticism. Apart from music and dance elements, it's a combination of a wide range of sports, including martial arts, gymnastics, and capoeira, which is a fighting art from Brazil. And there are 4 basic moves in the dancing sport: top rock, footwork, power move, and freeze. The dancers are usually called b-boys, b-girls, or just breakers. The dance form was originated in the Black and Latino community in the Bronx borough of New York in the 1970s. It was popularized in the 1990s when a lot of international competitions were held all over the world. And almost during the same period, it's getting popular in China as movies featuring these breakdancing hit theaters in the country. The iconic style of the dancers attracted a lot of young followers of our parents' generation at that time in China. I remember one of my father's favorite actors used to be a breaker when he was in his 20s, and he participated in some national breaking competitions at that time.
It seems like a lot is going on when you are breakdancing, but can you explain a little bit more about why does it click with a lot of people?
Well, people love it for various reasons. It's fun, free, diverse, and creative. B-boys and B-girls form a circle. One after another enter into the middle to dance, which is called cipher in breaking. In the cipher, breakers dance freely and share their best moves and tricks that they are most proud of with others. And in many cases, they have to improvise as the music is played randomly by a DJ. You will never know what the next music would be like, and you have to react to the music right off the bat, which makes your moves more creative and innovative. In breaking, there's an unwritten rule that you shouldn't repeat the move. Repeating yourself is awful. It may lead you lose the game. I spoke with a bunch of fans and students majoring breaking at Beijing Sport University.
I love the vibes. We gathered in a circle, dancing together to fantastic music that lights up our passion for dance. The variety of moves and skills is impressive.
The dance is really cool and novel. I look cooler and feel more energized since I started learning breaking.
I have been practicing aerobics since I was a child. I enjoy dances that showcase strength, like breaking. Sometimes I improvise steps I never thought I could do, which always surprises me. I love this feeling.
Breaking is a symbol of freedom. Freestyle means you don't have to think too much. Just make the moves that pop up naturally in your mind. Breaking isn't limited to any specific locations. You can even do top rock in a corner of your dorm.
Or for people outside the circle of the street-born art, there's always misunderstanding, and it's often confusing to tell the difference between breaking and other types of street dance like hip-hop, jazz, house, locking, and popping. Breaking is distinguishable from other styles of street dance, as a big part of the moves in breaking are made on the floor, which involves spins on back or shoulders or heads. And the level of difficulty of breaking is higher than other types of street dance. For example, Thomas Flair, in which it's also done by gymnasts. When a gymnast do the move, he would keep his torso balanced on alternating hands while his legs swinging underneath, which is really difficult for people with zero experience to do that.
For the dancers themselves, for the breakers or the b-boys or the b-girls you just mentioned, when their sports or their dancing is accepted into this mainstream sporting event, what does this acceptance mean, according to them, for the dance?
Well, first, I think it's recognition. And all these breakers, b-boys, b-girls, will be recognized not just by a small circle of hip-hop, but also the general public. The Olympic status of breaking could mean a lot. It could mean explosive growth of the sport in the next few years. That could help elevate the sport enter into a brand new stage where a lot of young people might flock to learn this. And that will help this sport to cultivate more young talents in the future, which is definitely will benefit for the growth of the sport in the future. And also, the official recognition by the IOC also means that this sport could get more fund from governments or public institutions to help this professional system to grow and to help a lot of new venues will be built for the players in this field. And also, it also means opportunity. I would say the word would be opportunity. I talked with a senior breaker who used to be on the national training team. His name is Nanjie. He told me that when he was young, he rarely seen any studios training breakers, but now the studios have sprung up over the years. And since he has been the coach and the judge for various national competitions, some competitions that used to be joined by just dozens of players now see over 1,000 contenders to participate, which means not only the scale of the competition has been enlarged, but also the number of people participating into this game has expanded a lot over the years.
It sort of reminds me of basketball in a way, that professional basketball and also the street basketball are, well, we can say it's similar. It's same in the some way, but also different. So for breakdancing, when it's getting a lot of attention and being accepted by more and more and more people in the society, does this mean that the dance have to compromise something originally to be accepted by the general public and even to get added at an international sport event?
For the world's top level players who have strong basic skills and profound accumulation in the field, they don't have to compromise their style. They have distinctive personal style, also a strong set of basic skills. They don't have to compromise anything. But for those beginners, especially young people who first started to learn this practice, maybe they have to compromise something. For example, they would focus more on skill rather than style. Because if they devote a same amount of time, let's say a year, into practicing difficult skills, they can see visible advanced in practicing breaking. But if they focus on style, that style takes time. It takes more than 5 years, maybe 10 years to get yourself totally involved in learning the culture behind breaking. If they are competition focused, for example, now this breaking has been added to the Olympic program, and a lot of young boys or girls will be trained to achieve a certain standard. And some schools, some studios, when they train kids, they would focus on helping them improving their skills, helping them to make some tough moves like power moves, and then they can score higher in competitions. But the point is, breaking is not just about skills. It's not just about tough movements. It's a top-level breaker should have a variety of, but also strong distinctive personal style.
Now let's zoom in on the ongoing Asian Games in Hangzhou, which also has the breakdancing competitions involved. Who are the seed players that we can keep an eye on during the games?
Well, it will be fiercely competitive for b-boys. Japanese b-boy Narakai Shigeyuki will be likely to step up on the podium and grab a medal. He was the 2018 Youth Olympic bronze medalist, and he's also a runner-up in the 2022 World Championship. Meantime, Kazakhstan's Amir is currently a rising star, and the Korean b-boy Kim Hyung-yu is also a strong contender as he has won multiple global titles. For b-girls, Japan's Amy, she has dominated the women's competition. Amy has earned golds at the 2019 and 2022 World Championships. She showed a strong ability to maintain at high standards. Judging from the competitions she participated into over the past few years, she either wound up being the first or the second, which is very incredibly stable performance for a b-girl. And for Team China, I would say Liu Qingyi, the 17-year-old, emerged in 2022. She was able to break the dominance of the Japanese b-girls. Liu Qingyi has won silver at the 2022 World Championship organized by WDSF, the World Dance Sport Federation. Then she stood on the top of the podium at the Breaking for Gold World Series by defeating Amy, which is also history-making for a Chinese b-girl.
So for these b-girls and b-boys and for these dancers, what qualifies a medal for them in these Asian Games?
Several criteria are taken into consideration when judging these breakers: creativity, personality, technique, variety, performativity, and musicality. The judges will submit their votes after each round, and the breaker with the highest points is declared the winner.
They will not only be judged by their moves, their strength, but also, as you mentioned, their styles in a way. And then, since we are seeing more big game organizers like the IOC and also this year's Asian Games in Hangzhou are including this form of dance as part of their competitions, why do they want to include breakdancing into this professional sport event alongside with soccer or basketball? Why is it being accepted by international sports games?
Breaking is a type of dance, but it's also a sport in nature. If it want to be added into the Olympic program, in the first place, it has to be a sport. Just as I have said that it incorporates a lot of sporty characters. So that's the first element. I think it could be accepted by the IOC. And the second is that the organizers need younger audiences to watch their games. And breaking, like other street dance, has a lot of young players, and they attract the attention from a younger generation of audience. That is the key here. That is very important for whether the IOC or the organizing committee of the whole city. They want to use breakdancing as a leverage to gain more attention from a younger generation of audience. For example, not just breaking, but also other urban games like 3v3 basketball and sport climbing. That's why the IOC would add these sports into their programs. And the ratings have been weighing on the mind of the organizers. The ratings of the Summer Olympic Games have been going through a downward trajectory. According to data website Statista, the Olympic Summer Games total global TV audience in 2012 was 3.6 billion in London, and it declined to 3.2 billion in Rio 2016. And then it plummeted to just over 3 billion in Tokyo. Whether the IOC or the organizing committee of the host city, they all need to do something to take actions, making efforts to reverse the trend and save the ratings.
But do you think by accepting and adding these new, more trendy, more younger people accepted sports into their current program is going to solve their problems?
I think that would be helpful in terms of attracting young people to watch the games. This downward trend of the TV ratings is unstoppable, and many young people turn to use their phones to watch games, to play even e-games. The inclusion or the addition of these urban sports would help the IOC to solve part of its problem, but there's no one-fits-all answer to their problem. Earlier this month, the IOC and Los Angeles 2028 organizing committee have delayed the announcement of the addition of the new sports, including breaking, for the upcoming games in 2028. And this reflects a problem is that they have a rift over whether these new sports are really helpful in solving their problems.
I know you are also a sort of a dancer yourself.
Sort of, yeah.
So I hope you enjoy the break dancing competition in this year at the Asian Games.
I would just watch that on TV perhaps, because when the tickets were put on sales on the official website of the Hangzhou Asian Games, I found that the tickets were almost sold out. I wasn't able to buy them.
It's a very popular event after all. Thank you, Guo Yan.
Thank you, Fei Fei.
Apart from breakdancing, video gaming is also making its way into sporting events. At the Hangzhou Asian Games, e-sports competitions began on Sunday and will last till next Monday. Games such as League of Legends and Dota 2 will award a total of 7 gold medals. And that brings us to the end of this episode of Deep Dive. If you like what you just heard, don't forget to follow us on your podcast platform. Just search for Deep Dive. You can also leave comments to tell us what you want to know about China and beyond. This episode is brought to you by me, Fei Fei, and my colleagues Li Yunqi, Zhang Zhang, and Qi Zhi. Special thanks to CGTN Radio reporter Guo Yan. I'll see you in the next one.